But let's talk about the potential transfers, because the window does slam shut tonight at 11 o'clock, and there is a few talking points to get through. So we'll start off with a potential incoming, which is Lucas Bergvall, the Swedish wonder kid. Bit of a tug of war going on with Barcelona and Tottenham at the moment. Fabrizio Romano said yesterday that Tottenham are trying to hijack Lucas Bergvall's transfer. They're calling him every hour to try and convince him. Barca are confident, but still awaiting the final green light on the player side. Dan Kilpatrick says that Spurs are waiting on Lucas Bergvall to decide between them and Barcelona, but a deal does not necessarily have to be agreed today. Spurs have agreed a deal with Djurgården worth around £8.5 million in the summer, so there is no pressure for a decision today. Tom Barkley says that Tottenham are expecting Bergvall to sign for Barcelona, but they are waiting in the wings in case he decides otherwise. Mundo Deportivo says that Bergvall has yet to give Barcelona a definitive answer. This is because Tottenham are pressing to sign him and are offering him a spot in the first team. And a publication in Sweden called Football Direct says that Dejan Kulusevski has been acting as Tottenham's ambassador to convince Bergvall to join Spurs. The situation is currently 50-50 between Spurs and Barca, and Tottenham have been working on the deal for several weeks, and apparently that publication also said that Kulusevski was in the transfer meeting last week between Bergvall and Spurs. So very interesting developments there. Obviously, he's a 17-year-old, but that report saying they're offering him a first-team spot. Do you believe that?
I mean, it's hard to believe considering he's 17 and we've got a lot of midfielders at the moment. I don't know what. Maybe if Skip and Hojbjerg are leaving, like, is he the one to come in and perform that role as like a squad player in terms of in central midfield? I'd be very surprised, but you look, if you're ready, then age doesn't really matter. I guess Ange's going to give you that. He's going to give you chances if he feels like you're ready to play. So I don't completely rule it out. We've already seen, haven't we? Barcelona themselves are a perfect example. Look at Gavi and Pedri. Didn't they start playing regularly at similar ages?
Gavi and Pedri. Look at Yamal.
Lamine Yamal, exactly, playing right now at 16 on the wings. So I think that's a perfect example of players these days maybe being already at younger ages. I don't think it's like a massive trend, but maybe if he's ready to make that step up, then he could do it.
And I guess he has already made his debut for the Swedish national team as well.
Yeah. In terms of whether he chooses Tottenham or Barca, do you reckon maybe he's looking at Barca and thinking, with Gavi and Pedri there, they're still so young. Like, are they even 20 yet? Or maybe they're early, like just turned 20. Like, how long will he have to wait to become a regular starter there? Maybe he's thinking if he goes to Tottenham, maybe there's going to be more opportunities. I don't know. Obviously, we've got a young team. We're playing good football at the moment. Barca, obviously, they're giving young players a chance. That's clear. Are they in a bit of a mess right now? Xavi is looking to leave. Maybe Tottenham's more of a stable project he's looking at. I'd obviously be very excited if he was to come in. Looking into him and the kind of player he is and how early he's been developing. He seems to be a real star in the making. Obviously, at 17, you never really know where a player is headed, but Tottenham seem absolutely desperate to get him in, don't they? They're looking to pull all the tricks in the book to try and get him in. There are reports that we've agreed a deal, isn't it, already with the club?
$8.5 million. Yeah.
So if they're going that far, maybe they really believe there's a chance we can hijack it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, let's be real. Barca are not the club that they used to, they're obviously a ginormous club, but they're not kind of where they're at, where they should be as a football club, Barcelona. And Spurs are growing. It's a good place for young players to come and flourish here at Spurs. Albeit, I would say it's still a good place for Barcelona with the young players to flourish, like the players that you did mention. But I do feel like if you do want to get your big move to Barcelona, like coming to Spurs at the age of 17, you've still got the rest of your career to kind of follow on that trajectory, don't you? So it will be interesting. I think Kulusevski could be a major kind of factor in this deal where he can come see a familiar face. Dejan Kulusevski obviously knows him. He's been in a part of same squad as him at least once. And it's a friendly face to kind of immerse yourself with. So I do see a lot of reasons why Bergvall would kind of join Spurs over Barcelona. We've seen players like Radu Dragushin already reject Bayern Munich to come to Tottenham Hotspur. So why not Bergvall rejecting Barcelona to come to Tottenham.
There's also one interesting element of it, though, is like once you go to Barcelona and once you have Barca on your CV, it kind of stays with you in a positive way. I mean, like how many players have you heard like, oh, I used to play for Barcelona, and like that's a term to like get them people excited to sign you, and even people have a look at you just because you played for them.
Well, so that's why we signed Emerson Royale.
Pretty much. Like I remember, like there's a lot of players they get moves based on the fact, oh, they used to play for Barcelona, and then and it gets fans excited just on that fact. So he could think about it that way and think, if I get Barca on my CV, that's going to set me up for better in the future. So maybe that's the element of you looking at it, but let's hope Tottenham can sell their project better.
Yeah. Let's move on and talk about some potential outgoings from now until 11 p.m. tonight. We'll start off with Brian Hill. Dan Kilpatrick says that Brighton and Hove Albion continue to push for a loan deal for Brian Hill today, but no guarantee the winger will leave Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs are happy to let Hill go on a straight loan to Brighton, but the Spaniard will need some persuading to accept them. And a publication out in Holland, 1908 NL, says that Feyenoord are making a new attempt to bring Tottenham winger Brian Hill to the club on loan. And this is just the same story with Brian Hill over and over again. How many transfer deadline days have we sat here talking about Brian Hill?
Well, what do you always say about him? He's always the last thought of this football club.
It's true.
And it's the same thing. Case in point. Deadline day looks like maybe something will happen. It was interesting. He was in the squad yesterday, but obviously didn't come off the bench. Donnelly was used ahead of him. So maybe that's an indication of where his standing is at the moment. Was Stoneman set to be coming back imminently? Werner's obviously playing very well at the moment on the left-hand side. Son's going to come back for the Asia Cup. How many opportunities will there be for him? How many opportunities will there be for him? Look, we only have 16 games left till the end of the season. So there's really not going to be a lot of game time for him at Tottenham. As much as I think I reckon he likes playing under Ange. I reckon he likes Ange ball, and I think he feels like he might suit it. But at the end of the day, he's just down the pecking order, and he hasn't done enough in his cameo appearances to really earn that spot. So I would love him to go to Brighton and see what he can do there. I think if I was him, I wouldn't go to Feyenoord. I would go to Brighton, where he can test himself at a high level, and if he really performs in the Premier League, that hopefully will give a queue of suitors come the summer, even maybe Brighton themselves, to take him on permanently, and that can show what he can do in the Premier League. If he goes to Feyenoord, even if he does well, is it really convincing anyone? I don't know. So, or you could argue, look, go to Feyenoord, plays week in, week out, help his development. But how old is he now? 23 now? Like he's like, this isn't like a proper youngster anymore. You know, it's a player who needs to be playing regularly at top level. So, I hope Brighton get over the line. I hope we agree a deal with them. And I think that'd be a great move for him.
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity for him to get a lot of minutes at Brighton at the moment, with the amount of wingers that they have out injured at the moment. Solly March as well, injured to the end of the season. Ansu Fati out. Dingra, he'll be coming back from the AFCON soon, if not back already. But there is opportunities there at Brighton for him. So I think he should look at that Brighton move as a real opportunity to say, if I want to stay in the Premier League, go there, get some minutes, show what he's about on a consistent basis, and before these injured players start coming back, maybe he can put a footprint, a stronghold into that team and start, fighting for that spot. So I think that's a good opportunity for him. So I think he should take it with open arms, to be honest, because Spurs clearly don't value him as much as he thinks that he should be getting game time.
And they're still in Europa League, aren't they, Brighton?
Brighton are still in the Europa League as well, yeah.
So get game time there as well.
So look, I think it's a good move for him, and I've always said that I think that he's got really good technical ability, and I really believed in his talent and his ability, but it's just not happening for him at Tottenham. So with the amount of players above him in the pecking order, it's going to take for another crazy kind of injury spree at Spurs for him to get any look in. So
if we had more games, maybe there's a case to keep him, but like with literally 16 games, we're only Premier League, there's just going to be no time.
Yeah, and with Son coming back and Werner there now, and Solomon still there as well, so it just doesn't look likely for Brian Hill to ever succeed at Tottenham, to be honest. But the only way I see him actually succeeding, if he goes to Brighton and smashes it out there, that's the only way.
Yeah, then maybe we have to take a second look at it.
Yeah. Let's talk about Alejo Veliz now. This is an interesting one. David Ornstein broke last night saying Tottenham have tonight received an offer from Sevilla to sign Alejo Veliz. The proposal for the 20-year-old Argentina youth striker is a straight loan with no option to buy. Spurs will make a decision on deadline day whether to sanction. And then today, Dan Kilpatrick says that Tottenham forward Alejo Veliz is travelling to Seville to complete a straight loan move until the end of the season. And Fabrizio Romano says that Alejo Veliz has the green light from Spurs to complete Sevilla loan move. There are still details to clarify. It's up to Sevilla now. Loan does not include an option to buy. Sevilla are on it. And Alonso Riviera, a Spanish journalist, says that Sevilla plan to carry out an exhaustive medical check on Alejo Veliz, given that he got injured on the 31st of December and hasn't played for Tottenham since. If the results of the examinations are satisfactory, the deal should be completed today. A really good opportunity for Veliz. Apparently he's been given assurances of playing time as well, which is very positive, because if he hasn't got given those assurances, there's probably no point of him going, to be honest. In terms of, does it leave us a bit short in the front line? Probably not, because we don't have that many games, like you said.
And
but
Scarlett as well,
with Scarlett, exactly. Scarlett is back, but don't know. Is Scarlett, like, if Alejo did stay, for argument's sake, is Scarlett above him in the pecking order?
Probably not, but I don't think there's much in it. So if there's an opportunity to get Veliz on a loan deal, knowing we have Scarlett there, and even Scarlett, how much game time is he going to get anyway when Son comes back? You have Rishi, and even Werner can play up front as well now. So
it's frustrating though for Alejo, isn't it? Because just before that injury, he was just starting to announce himself, and he was just starting to get some minutes. Got that goal at Brighton. I thought the cameos that were all positive from Alejo. I like what he's about, to be honest. And then Werner comes in, he falls a bit further down the pecking order. Dane Scarlett comes back. There's more competition. So I think this loan move to Sevilla is probably really positive for him.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity to play top level European football, hopefully get some regular minutes. I was looking into Sevilla's squad. Obviously they're not doing very well at the minute, but Rafa Mir is one of their two strikers. They got him, and they've got Yusuf El Nesri, obviously, who's at the AFCON at the moment. Well, they just got knocked out, so he's probably coming back. But Rafa Mir apparently is on his way to Valencia, so he's about to leave. So that leaves a spot for Veliz to hopefully get some minutes, either back up to El Nesri, or maybe even in games, maybe partnering him, or even ahead of him if El Nesri isn't banging in the goal. So I think there's an opportunity there. I don't think it's the easiest environment, because Sevilla's a big club, but they're a big club not doing very well at the moment. So there's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of angry fans. If he doesn't come in and do well, there's going to be a lot of people on his back. But obviously, it's obviously right not to put an option to buy, because he's only been here 6 months and we only just bought him. So you don't want to let him go right now. But if he's there playing regularly, it'll be very, very interesting to see how he gets on. Because if he starts regularly and actually makes an impact, then all of a sudden he becomes an option for us next season to really use as a backup striker potentially. But as you say, that injury, it looked like quite a serious one, and that knee injury that he picked up. Obviously, he stayed on. It was a Bournemouth game where he hobbled. He stayed on because we had used all our subs, and maybe he aggravated that injury even worse. So hopefully that decision doesn't scupper a move to Sevilla for him, because he was set to be out for 2 months. I can't remember when that game was. It was right at the end of December, wasn't it?
31st December, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a month already. He was set to be out for 2 months. So
and he's on the grass already.
Okay, so hopefully if he's out for only another couple of weeks, if it's doable. If he's out for another month, do they do it? If he's only back in March, I don't know. That's a question mark. So hopefully that injury isn't as bad as first feared. Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see in terms of the medical later today. I'm sure we'll get some news at some point during the day. But also with Alejo Veliz, it'll be really good for him to share like a dressing room with players like Sergio Ramos with that elite mentality, and Eric Lamela will be there as well.
Adnan Januzaj.
And Adnan Januzaj, all the great players. But yeah, Eric Lamela, not only does he have that, he's Argentinian compatriot, but he's got that fire in his belly, and he also has that love for Tottenham as well.
He'll look after him, I think.
That's for sure.
He'll show him how to get a yellow card as well.
Yeah. We've got him and Ramos.
Yeah,
like literally.
He's going to come back and he's going to be getting cards left, right, and centre.
Let's talk about Luka Vuskovic now. David Ornstein said yesterday, or today even, Tottenham prospect Luka Vuskovic is set to join Polish club Radomiak Radom on loan from HIJACK Split. Done by HIJACK to give 16-year-old defender regular starts until the summer, when expected to be loaned out to a higher level before he joins Tottenham in 2025. Fabrizio Romano says that future Tottenham player Luka Vuskovic has completed his move to Polish side Radomiak Radom on loan from HIJACK Split. Luka Vuskovic is a key part of Tottenham Hotspur's future plans. Obviously, he's only 16 years of age, so for him to go anywhere really and get first team football week in, week out is going to be a massive plus. It is a higher level than the Croatian league apparently out in Poland. So it is positive. In terms of why he's not joining Spurs, because he's only 16 and he's not allowed to till he's 18. That's why he's going to have a few loans before he joins Spurs.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to come into Tottenham and be playing first team football anytime soon anyway. I'm pretty sure the transfer was only till 2025, isn't it? I think that's when he joins.
That's when it starts, yeah.
Yeah, that's when it starts. So we can't bring him in. I think they announced the deal today or yesterday anyway, the club, the loan club. So that has happened. And I think that's great. And hopefully it aids his development, because this is a 16-year-old centre-back who's been playing some games for HIJACK Split even at 16 and apparently getting rave reviews. Big unit for his age as well. So the more minutes he plays, that's only going to help his development. So really, really great news. And I'm glad that these things are being thought about ahead of time, planning for the future in terms of not just signing a player, but aiding their development, looking at where they're going. And I'm sure Spurs had a say at where he's going as well. I'm sure there was conversations with HIJACK Split about where he was going on loan. So I think it's brilliant news.
It's really good, like the planning at Tottenham at the moment. It's like better than it's ever been before. Not only are we looking for like the talents of tomorrow, we're also looking at the talents of today. You know, the Dragusins coming in, Timo Werner coming in on loan, who's really started life at Spurs well.
Dragusins moved from Madrid to Madrid. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Like we're thinking of everything at the moment, Tottenham. And I can't remember a better time like of planning at this football club. Usually we're either like thinking in one way or the other, never both ways at the same time, which is crazy.
And that's what we needed to do for a long time, and that's what's held us back: a lack of planning, a lack of long-term thinking. And now we're getting there.
Let's finish off talking about Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. There were a few rumours that he could potentially be leaving by the end of the transfer window, but his lawyer came out yesterday and said he ain't leaving, and he's confirmed that as well today with an interview with Charlie Eccleshare. It says Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg has confirmed in an interview with Charlie Eccleshare that he'll be staying at Spurs for the rest of the season. There are a few quotes from him as well, and he says, I definitely feel I can help the team. The key is that we are playing for something. I always said in the past, like I say now, what drives me is the purpose of fighting for something, and I definitely feel that Tottenham is fighting for something. I'm enjoying the football. You have to stay steady and you have to be aware at all times, because we are playing very aggressive and front-footed football, so it's definitely something that is keeping you alive. It's nice. And I thought he came on and really helped the team yesterday as well.
Yeah, I thought so. I think he's been having a good season. I don't think he's really been bad. We know the flaws in Hojbjerg. It's no secret. Everyone knows that he's definitely upgradable in terms of how we want to play under Ange. But that's not to say that that he hasn't played a role this season, especially coming off the bench, helping out, seeing games when he has had to start. More often than not, he's done a good job. Obviously, there have been games where he's not been as good, but we know that could happen with Hojbjerg. I think the whole interview thing, maybe it's a bit of PR just to make sure that the fans all believe that he's still on side. He's not like desperate to leave, all that kind of stuff. I do think if the opportunity came about this window, he would have left. I think it's more about there was no opportunity, no club he really fancied going to in the window, and he thought, look, if I wait till the summer, there'll probably be more offers on the table, probably somewhere I more want to go, somewhere that's beneficial for me more. So I think that's probably why he's coming out now on deadline day and just saying, look, I'm staying, want to fight for Tottenham, all this kind of stuff. And as well, it's not like he hasn't been playing. I think apart from maybe a couple of games, I think he's actually played in every game in terms of either off the bench or starting. So it's not like he's not being used at all. So from that element, he's probably just content from now to the end of the season. He'll just stay here. Maybe he can fight for something big, who knows? And then next season, he can go somewhere where he's a regular starter.
And regardless what he gives us as a player, we all know the mentality of what he is. He's a fighter. We called him the Viking warrior for a reason. You know, his mentality in terms of whenever he's on the pitch, he always gives 100%. And, you know, there's been rumours of him leaving for half a year now, since last summer, and he's never given less than 100%. So to have players like that for the cause that can just come in off the bench from now to the end of the season, I think is only a positive thing.
I agree, and we're a young team, and sometimes you need a mature, calm head like Hojbjerg to come on and calm things down. I think that's maybe what he did yesterday. Maybe he saw that. Maybe that's part of the reason he brought Hojbjerg on, not just because we needed a bit more bite, but because, the players were getting wound up. Everyone was like focusing on different things, and maybe you just needed someone like Hojbjerg on the pitch just to get everyone to focus on the job in hand again and make sure that we're doing things right on the pitch. And I think he helped with that.
Agreed. But that is your Tottenham update. Probably the first update, shall I say, of transfer deadline day. We'll keep you updated with any sort of developments that do come across us throughout the day. But I don't expect it to be a busy day. At what time do you reckon we get that Ali Gold tweet today?
I think it probably
Ali Gold bingo, come on.
It probably goes without saying, I would say. Ali Gold this window.
What are you telling me we're not all on tenterhooks for Bergvall?
Well, look. Dan Kilpatrick's head doesn't even have to be done in this window.
It's true.
So I don't even know if that we have to be waiting on that one even.
Yeah. All right, well, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comments section below your thoughts around any of the news stories we've brought to you today.